Hello students, let's continue from where we stopped. So here we are going to open the Jupyter Notebook. All you need to do is to invoke your command prompt, type Jupyter Notebook and press enter. Your notebook will be invoked and open in the browser as you can see. You can see your notebook has opened. So following the step described in your book, so you see that the book describes everything step by step. So what you need to do is you follow this step to create a new notebook. Select new from the top right. You open a new notebook. Let's go to our notebook. You open a new notebook. You can select where you want your notebook to be. For instance, I have my own in desktop. I created a folder here in a desktop I call CSC 401 codes. You can go to your desktop and create a folder. You can call it Python codes. When you do that, you will see it from your desktop here, Python codes. So you can open a new notebook there so that you can separate it from other things you have. So you select Python 3 because Python has already been installed and you have also used pip to install Jupyter Notebook. So you have to select this, click. So you can change the title of your notebook. You can call it Python Training or Python Practice. So you type Python code. Now Python can work like ordinary calculator. You can still use Python as other calculator. 1 plus 1, it gives you 3. Python can work just like ordinary calculator. You start typing your code, you see that each of your code will be documented in a cell. You can also write it like normal Python code, assign it a value, and do your summation just like normal programming. Add a variable. You know what variable is? memory locations that can change during program execution. Because it didn't ask us to print anything, you see that it didn't display anything for you. Use the print statement and print the C. And print your C so that you can get the results. You see that when you run the program before, because it did not use a Python output statement to display the results, it just gave you an empty cell. So you can also choose to decorate your print by addressing what this is, maybe telling it C or the sum of A plus B is equal to 3. The book explains every bit of what you need to learn from basic to advanced. So you can see the chapter 2. The chapter 1 simply show you a practical step of how you're going to install all the necessary tools and run your Python code. As we said, I advise beginners to use uh, Jupyter Notebook because it will help you to archive every code you have written. For instance, if you go back to my system here, you will see my own codes. These are the codes that I wrote for the programming class or CS401. Anytime, any day I open, I see my codes here. If I want to reference any of the code, I can also reference and pick it. So I can also show you my own course for machine learning modeling. You can see that I have a lot of code here: credit card fraud detection, diabetes prediction. These are the different house price prediction, IoT intrusion detection. These are the different models I've developed. You can see that all of them are archived here. That's the beauty of this notebook. So this is a simple explanation of how you can use your Jupyter Notebook and write your Python code. You can come at any time, open your notebook for your code and have your code visible. So the chapter 2 explains to you the basic concept. The beauty thing about learning programming language is that it follows the same structure. When you want to write a programming language, first of all you talk about the structure. How is the structure of Python? Python is not like um, um, old languages like Pascal, which you need to begin with writing program as the first statement. You begin to write your program ahead, unless when you want to write object-oriented Python. You can just start writing Python, assign your variables. It's not strictly typed like Java. Any value you assign to a variable in Python, it takes that value. If you assign an integer value, it automatically gives the variable as integer. If you assign it a, a string value, it will automatically make that variable a string value. So that is the way Python is. Values and their type. In Python, a value is one of the basic elements a program works with. It can either be in the form of letters, which is string, or a number such as 2. Welcome to Python is a string value. These two values are categorized into different types. 2 is an integer, while welcome to Python is a string. The Python interpreter and programmer can identify a string because it is always enclosed in quotation mark. Also, if you want to know the type of value you are working with, you write the function type and then print. For instance, if you say value equal to type hello world, print value, it will now print the value of that particular expression. What is inside here is an expression. This is a statement. Variables, expressions, and statements. Here we have this as an expression. The whole of this is a statement. Print is a statement. So type is a function that you use to check out the type of variable that you have. For instance, if you want to really know the type of variable this is, what you need to do is to use type, create a value, and pass the function type to that value and print it. It will show you the type of variable. You can just add it here. You can just add it here. Value equal to type. This is a function. Inside the function, what you pass through there is what is going to print. You can pass C there and ask it to print a value for you. After printing the summation, you can ask it to print the value. Value here is a variable. This is a variable, this is a variable, this is a variable. This is an expression. C, A, B, C are all variables. A plus B is an expression. C equal to A plus B is a statement, and this type of statement is called assignment statement. Type in bracket C is a function, is a function that is already in the library. What you need to do is to call that function to execute results. So once we run this program again, it's going to print the result of this variable here, C. The result of this variable, this expression is assigned to the variable C. And this is an assignment statement that will enable results to be executed. So this is a print statement. It's an output statement in Python to what? To display result on the screen. So if you print C, it will give you the result of this expression. If you print value, it will now give you the type of variable of which type of data is this variable. And here it showed us that the type of variable is an integer. So this is a simple way you can use Jupyter Notebook to write a Python program. So this book is called DIV, Do It Yourself, because it is just written to be as simple as possible. As simple as possible. You can see the example that is given here. The book is very simplified that you can teach yourself how to program in Python. So you can see that this expression is 7.0 is a decimal point value. And when you now print with a function type, it shows you that the type of variable here is a float. So it is not like Java where you need to define the variable. It is not strictly typed like JavaScript. There are some languages that are called strictly typed languages. Example is JavaScript, Java. In Java, you do not do this. You must define a variable. If your variable is A, you must strictly define that the value that should be entered in that variable must be an integer or a char or a string. In Java, a char is when you assign a single letter to a variable. A string is a group of words. So you must first of all, before assigning value to that variable, you must first of all define it. If not, when you execute the program, it will show you an error. You cannot do this type of thing in Java without first of all telling us the type of variable that A is before you can assign value to it. But Python is a free type. Whatever you assign to it, it's what is going to give you as a result. So it is a very, very simple and easy to use language. It's a general purpose programming language. You have to learn the general concept. We are going to look at the different expression, the different statements, the input statement, the output statement, the assignment statement, the conditional statement, the iterations, looping, what type of looping, what are the syntax of the looping, because these are the things you expect to learn in a language. Knowing the structure of the language, what do you use for your conditions? Life is full of uncertainty. If you want to do this, if this should happen, do that. If then statement. What are the syntaxes of the if-then statement that Python uses? What are the type of looping syntaxes that Python uses? How can you use it in an array? What are the data structures of Python? What else can Python be used to do? Is a very, very powerful language that you use for both general purpose programming and also server-side scripting to develop websites. You can also use it to do data analysis. Inside this book, we were able to treat the general concept that Python are used for. When you go down to the chapters, you also see where we explain the different data structures of that Python programming can be used for. You also see where you use Python to solve general programming problems. You can also see in this book how you are going to use Python to analyze your data, clean up your data. You can also see how you are going to use different Python libraries to also train your model. We also introduce you how you can use Django framework to automate your model so that when you deploy it in production environment, it can execute just like you see recommendation system in Amazon website. Thank you for listening.